Hi, this is YC coming to you again from South Carolina. I am making chocolate brownies today, and the reason I decided to do chocolate brownies because a couple weeks back I did the blonde brownies, and I thought, well, if I did one, I should do the other, right? And there's a little bit of a history behind my chocolate brownies. My husband loves chocolate brownies, and we had lived somewhere else before this place where he always wanted brownies for some reason. And I figured I'm going to go on the never-ending quest to find the best recipe for chocolate brownies. So I would make a batch, and we would say, oh, these ones are, too thick like a cake. We don't want chocolate cake. We want chocolate brownies, nice and chewy. And then we would make another batch, and they would be really low and dense and heavy like the ones you'd get at the corner stores. We didn't want that either. And this went on for a couple years when my kids were little. So I finally one day came across the perfect brownie. My husband said, that is it. So I typed it up. I've been using the same one ever since, and I don't know what I'm going to do if I lose it. So I'm going to share this recipe for you. They're perfect, and they're nice and chewy, and they're not too much like a cake, and they're not too heavy. They're absolutely the perfect chocolate brownie, and it took me a couple years to find. So without further ado, I'm going to move on to doing the brownies. Okay, first you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And then you're going to want to take that old beat up metal pan and spray it. Or you can grease it, whatever you have on hand. And you're going to start off with 1 2/3 cups of granulated sugar. I know that's a lot of sugar. Okay, so that's 1 2/3 cup. And then you're going to need 3/4 cup of melted butter. You can use margarine too. I don't advise it, but if that's what you have on hand, then that's what you use, Okay, so we got 3/4 cup of melted butter, and everyone knows, that that's 1.5 sticks if you have sticks on hand. Okay, and then we're going to get a couple tablespoons of water. And I know that's an odd ingredient, right? Trust me, it makes a difference. I was shocked at how much water makes a difference on whether you do put it in a brownie or whether you don't put it in a brownie. It's just amazing to me. Okay. Also, we're going to put in 2 large eggs. And I'm probably making a mess. That's okay. Alright. And then, let's see. We're going to put in the flour next, but what we want to do is mix it a little bit. Because you mix your sugar and your eggs and your butter, which I'm not. I have to tell you, when I'm in a hurry, I dump in a bowl, I stir and go. I'm not so fussy about, oh, you have to do this, you have to do this next. Let me tell you, it all gets in there. And it's really funny because when I was making these brownies when the kids were growing up, there was a little boy that just loved brownies 2 streets over. And I swear to I wouldn't even announce I was making them. He would show up. And he would eat all my failures. That was what was so funny. And he thought they were all great, of course. Okay. Now, the next ingredient I'm going to put is 1 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. And don't forget to fluff your flour before getting your flour. You want it light and fluffy, not heavy and dense. Okay? You don't want too much flour in this. Okay, so while we're still adding these powdery kind of products, we will put in, this is what we have here. We have a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in here. And I'm just going to sprinkle it in. There we go. Okay, so again, that was a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And unlike the blonde brownies, there is no baking soda in these, just the baking powder and salt. I don't know why or if that makes a difference, but I'm telling you, like I said, I was on a quest. I was on a never-ending quest to make these perfect chocolate brownies, and thank goodness my quest has ended and I found the perfect ones. Oh, this is coming together quite nicely. Okay, and now we only have one more ingredient to add, and I think you've already guessed it. It's the star of the show. It's 3/4 cup of baking cocoa. And I just used the one from Aldi, any kind of baking cocoa. Okay, and I'll use the one that has my measurements on it here. This can make a big mess, so be careful. I'm famous for making messes with this, especially if we're making like chocolate shakes or something with it. It gets everywhere. Okay. Now, I need to shake it and see where I'm at here. Yeah, I got a little bit too much, so I'm going to go ahead and just fluff some back there. You're looking for 3/4 of a cup. Okay. And that's about the right amount, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in. Okay, and I might want to add too that you can put nuts in these if you want, and I usually do around the holidays, but you don't have to. You don't have to put anything in them. They're great like they are, and you know, you can put icing on them if you want. We don't. We like them how they are. Some people just sift a nice design with icing sugar across the top. We don't even do that. So just these are just beautiful, just chocolate brownies, just like they are. And that's all. We've got we'll go over our list. We've got 1 2/3 cup of granulated sugar. We have 3/4 cup of butter. We have 2 tablespoons of water, 2 large eggs, and we have 1 1/3 cup of flour, and we have 3/4 cup of baking cocoa, and we have a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that's basically all you need, and you put it in your pan at 350 degrees, and that goes for between 18 and 25 minutes depending on your oven. I'm making a mess here, see? That's okay. And see how thick it is? And then all you have to do is, you know, spread it across your pan. And it'll spread across it. My kitchen's already going to get hot now because okay. I just wanted you to see where I've used my spatula, and I spread the brownies all throughout the metal pan. And now I'm going to put this in the oven, and I'm going to cook it for, like it said, you know, 18 to 25 minutes. Probably, you know, 21, 22 minutes probably on my oven at 350 degrees, and I'll be back. I took the chocolate brownies out of the oven, and I let them cool a little bit. They're still a little warm, but you can see I can hang on to the pan. And I'm starting to cut them with a serrated knife. But you really should let them cool a lot more than this. You can see how they're sticking to my knife. But just I wanted to show you, you know, what they look like. It smells fantastic in here, I have to say. And just like cocoa, or you know how when you walk into a coffee house, really it smells great. Okay. And they'll lift up a little bit like that. They're going to lift up a little bit like that, but that's how you know you got the right ones. You know, if they don't lift up, it's like cake. Or if they, you know, or if they're too gooey, then you know you got those heavy, dense ones. But anyway, this is a corner piece, and let me see if I can't get a side piece, a different piece here too, maybe. But we enjoy this recipe so much we don't ever look back. We don't try to even use another one. We've gone through several recipes, and this is the one that my family likes, the one that we go to all the time. Okay, and I hope that you and your family give this recipe a try. I really think that you will enjoy this. It just like my blonde brownies, this would be a pleaser during the holiday season. And they're so simple, and usually if you put cocoa in your house, usually you have all the other ingredients. So I hope that you do give them a try, and bye for now.